Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome to another Supreme Commander epic. And yes, speaking of epic, that was an epic break in programming. Those of you who like the Facebook page will know what's going on, and those of you that don't have a Scooby, what's wrong with you? Use Facebook. I don't care how much you don't like it. It's the only way to get official Guile news on what's happening with the channel. Yeah, so you'll immediately realise that I sound different, probably pretty awful as it happened. That's because I've shelled out on a shiny new mic, and apparently when you do that, you have to continually shell out, because unless you get all of the audio deadening panels and everything along with it, you sound like you're speaking out of a tin of Quality Streets, which is exactly how it sounds now. If you don't have Quality Streets in your country of origin, then I feel very sorry for you. So yeah, essentially I've tried to get this cast that I'm bringing you guys today out a couple of times. It's taken several hours out of my life, and it was coming out with broken mic audio. First I thought it was a problem with OBS, something I changed, and then I realized it was my microphone dying, and it's now officially dead. My old trusty headset that lasted me for a good 4.5 years gave up the ghost. It is going to get repaired, but that's going to take weeks. And as a result, I couldn't leave you guys, especially after the Patreon campaign, waiting for content. So I went out and bought this bad boy, which doesn't sound so much bad as in just slightly awkward. And probably picking up a lot of noise from my noisy stack as well. But hopefully you guys will bear with me while we sort it out. And it's because my setup is like in this purpose-built little unit with shelves and everything, and it's just like a little echo chamber. So once I get some soundproofing foam, not soundproofing, but you know what I mean, acoustic foam, then that will help ultimately and bring it back to what it should sound like. So the more astute of you who've been looking at the scrolling title at the bottom of the screen there will realize it's another political prediction here at Guilecast. Be very afraid. Audible groan, I'm sure, from a certain section of you guys that couldn't care less and wish I'd stopped doing this. But all I'll say to you that is, first of all, there's a group of people that really like it, and if you don't really like it, you get to watch some SOPCOM. What do you want from me? Just ignore the political stuff and enjoy the hullabaloo of another Setons, which is what's going to happen today. And on this Setons, we are going to be predicting the result of the French presidential elections. Polling for those guys starts on Sunday. We correctly predicted Brexit. We predicted the rise of Trump before his inevitable fall when he got into office and couldn't get anything done. And today we are going to suss the French elections. They had this big debate last night. Got very heated, I believe. I didn't watch it. I know nothing about the French presidential elections, by the way, other than the 5-minute sound bites that we get on British news over here. But yeah, it's basically you've got Marine Le Pen, the leader of the Front National Front, the far-right party, versus Emmanuel Macron, who's a centrist candidate, leader of... I can't remember his party because he made it up in the last 5 minutes, so it's not really a long-standing thing. But he's got a new party, and it's very new. He's in the lead as the centrist candidate, not seen as the extremist in this, but it's all to play for. And the way we do it, we take a random number generator and we apply it to Team 1, and we take the more left-wing candidate, and we say if it's an even number, because... let's face it, method to the madness and all that. Left-wing people are more concerned with equality. So if it's an even number, that means that Team 1 will be fighting for the left-wing candidate, and if it's an odd number, they'll be fighting for Le Pen, the right-wing candidate. So it's Macron would be even for Team 1, Le Pen would be odd. So if I bump the display catcher up here to the top of the thing, you can see I've got Google, and this is what happens when you type in random number generator. You get this little page up here into Google. It already comes up with a number randomly for you. But we're not going to use that. We're going to click Generate. And what does it come out with? It's going to come out with a 3. Interesting. So Team 1 will be flying the flag. The flag. Do you see what I did there? That was completely unintentional. I'm so good at this. Yeah, they'll be flying the flag for Le Pen. And Team 2 will be flying the flag for Team Macron. So if we whack it over there to the actual faff bit, and then you'll suddenly hear the awful noise of the computer whirring in the background. But if I unfreeze it, then hopefully we can get on with it. So this at the top is Team 1, this is Team Le Pen, and this is Team Macron down here. Setons, let's get it on. Let's take a look at our players. Rearguard air position here for Team Le Pen. Up here at the top, it's Crispy Ambulance in Vivacious Violet. Going Aeon, how very sensible, opening first land and then going second and third air. Next up at the cliffs down here, it's Geeb Mass. That seems like some kind of Germanic language there for Geef Mass. Perhaps someone can enlighten me if that's right in the comment section below. He's chosen UEF, how very sensible. Opening first land in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink. Next up on the causeway, already on the move, it is one of the undisputed Setons Masters, Galactic Fear. Here he is, strutting his stuff down to the mast in the middle of the map. He's going Aeon, and I'm guessing that was a random pick because if we go up here and see what he was rocking, time for paper Aurora Fun. So he probably wouldn't have chosen that for the causeway, but I'm sure he'll do well because he's at 2300 something, baby. Good stuff there compared to everybody else. Admittedly, it's a fully pro game, I think. Yep, but 2300 way above the average, certainly. There he is in Lurid Green. He opened first and second land. And last but not least for Team Le Pen, up here at the top, it's my friend and former caster, because I don't think he's cast a game in about 3 years, even though he was really quite good at it. It's Napalm, and he is going Seraphim in Mellow Yellow, and he's opening first land. So that is Team Le Pen. It consists of 2 Aeon, a Seraphim, and a UEF. And let's take a quick look at Team Macron. We've got VIP down here, rearguard air position in Seraphim Pontiff White, opening first land there for him. Next up at the cliffs over here, it's Foxgirl Dungeon, which is a truly terrible name. Fortunately, we know him by another name, and that would be Petrick, so that's how we're going to be referring to him during the course of this one. He's going Cybran, bless him, as he always does, in Electric Blue, opening first and second air. Interesting stuff there, sir. Next up over here, he doesn't do a lot of acting or producing or directing anymore, I don't think, but he's playing a lot of faff, certainly. It's Mel Gibson. He's a 1600 rated player. He's going Cybran as well in Cyanide Scion, and he opened first land, going land all day, as it would seem. And last but not least, down at the beach over here in Elephantine Grey, it's another Cybran, Strogo, opening first land, going second air. So it's a fully Cybran front row there for Team Macron, and backed up by a Seraphim at the back there. Game quality is at 94.25%. That is definitely what we would refer to here as a balanced game. I should probably try not to hammer on the keys too hard there, because I'm sure that will bleed through quite badly, but you guys will get used to it, I'm sure. As the two front ACUs meet in the middle for the obligatory scoopy, massy, shooty in the facey. And you've got to expect Galfir is going to emerge out of this one with an advantage. He is very much more a seasoned vet at Setons, I think probably than anybody else playing this game right now. I don't mean just generally, but certainly in this actual match. Petrick obviously would have played a truckload, a buttload of Setons, I'm sure, but Galfir, as far as I'm aware, plays very little else. And I mean, I don't know if he does much else in his life either. He plays Setons, he plays Setons, he plays Setons. He disappears for a few weeks or a month or so, where presumably he goes on holiday or earns some money or actually eats or sleeps, and then he comes back and plays Setons all over again. It really is his thing. Anyway, it seems like Mel Gibson getting a little bit more damage now on his ACU compared to his mirror here, as expected. And of course, Galfir has an advantage going Aeon versus Cybran. Cybran, that paper ACU at just 10,000 HP, extra 1,000 starting hit points there for Galactic Fear's Aeon ACU. And in comes the T1 units for both of these players, and certainly many more in play there for Galactic Fear. So Galactic Fear killing a Mantis and a Scout there as well, a Mole, and now is going to be able to put extra pressure on Mel Gibson. Meanwhile, we've got a drop from Petrick over to the side islands. No competition there from Napalm, so it looks like he's going to get a hold there. Strogo is trying his darndest to impede Geeb Mass from grabbing his side island. He's already got a couple of interceptors zoning in now, but they are too late to stop the drop-off. 3 engineers down safely. The very best they can hope for here is a kill on the transport, but really that's not going to make any dramatic difference to the early stages of this one. Crispy Ambulance says Bomber. That will be Petrick, who's causing all kinds of problems over here. That's just the most annoying thing in the entire world. Factory half done, and that's cancelled by the destruction of the engineer. Napalm helpfully gets a Inti out and just to shoot down that bomber. Interesting part of Setons, you often think, well, he's the air player, shouldn't he be handling this? Well, remember, these guys are making a last-ditch effort, well, not really a last-ditch effort, but a concerted effort to push straight for Tech 3. They don't want to hang about producing lots of interceptors. We go back to the middle here and see how things have been working out. Well, they've not been working out too well for Mel Gibson. That drinking problem coming to the fore as usual. 4,200 hit points there for him. Galactic Fear, very much healthier picture for him. 9,200, 9,300 climbing, and so much so that he can get an upgrade on his comm, going for the gun range upgrade there. Mel Gibson about to drop down into the red potentially here. Mantis moving in, of course. Remember, the Aurora's very, very much weaker on the ground than just about any other T1 main staple unit, but they have terrific range, so if microed correctly, they can make all the difference. Mel Gibson rolling forward with his commander, now dipping into the red, down to 15, 14, 1,300 hit points. Needs to be very careful here indeed. Galfir's upgrade's about to finish on his commander as well, so he's going to have a lot of extra firepower in this corner of the map. In fact, he's going straight for a second upgrade. He's going for the full-on sniper con, going for the gun upgrade, the speed upgrade, so he's going to have range and speed there. It doesn't look like there's anything in the area from Mel Gibson or any of the other players there for Team Macron that's going to be able to stop him. More interceptors flooding in now from both sides on Team Macron. Patrick and Strogo trying to crowd that central causeway, and I'm guessing that will be a forerunner to getting some more T1 bombs out. Certainly Mel Gibson could do with the assistance. Patrick's getting an upgrade on his commander as well. He's upgrading T2, so he's going to have access to the T2 engineering suite soon enough. Strogo not currently upgrading anything on his commander. Interestingly, not a huge amount of naval construction going on, so Strogo about to complete his first. Napalm, the first to complete any naval facilities, and already has one frigate operational. That's making a beeline straight for Petrick's side of the map. Nothing going on for Petrick as yet. Well, he's queued up one. He's about to do a distance build from the cliffs. But if Napalm comes straight over here, he might be able to stall this. And if he can shut Petrick out of the naval game, that will be a very strong start for Team Le Pen here inside the first 10 minutes. Mel Gibson giving up more ground, meanwhile back in the middle as we move over here to the center. Galfir advancing relentlessly now with that sniper com. Incidentally, this is sporting Galactic Fear's Setons balance mod, and I did a little bit of preliminary sort of checking out of that balance mod on the forums, and yeah, it looks pretty interesting, but there's far too much for me to go into here. So if you're interested, guys, I will post a link to that in the description below this video, but please yell at me in the comments if you are interested. It's in its like 4th or 5th iteration now, so it's had lots of little adjustments, just things that the pros think Setons play requires to make it truly balanced, or to make the best possible version of the game, because it really is like a microcosm of FA Setons. Its whole personal sort of individual game. And Napalm not going straight over to the sideline. He will have spotted it with that flyby from the scout, but that first frigate heading down here, which should be able to deny the second naval yard. However, there is one online already. Sonar in place, but aren't any submarines on the way just yet. And Petrick is quick to get the first Trident off the conveyor belt there as well. So I don't think we're going to see a complete deny here from Napalm. He will deny the naval yard's construction down here, but he's going to struggle to kill off the navy altogether of Petrick. That second Trident due to complete soon. The first one from Petrick's being dispatched to try and recapture the beach. Petrick obviously concerned about getting that back. Meanwhile, back at the causeway once again, Mel Gibson looking very, very, very peaky. 4,300 hit points on the commander and giving up more and more territory as this game goes on. We're at 10 minutes now, and Galfir is almost at his main base. Not looking good at all. We do have assistance coming in from Petrick from the bottom left. Strogo also coming out now, so both of his teammates, his frontline teammates, pulling the commanders, but Mel Gibson has had enough. He's not going to wait, and this is almost certainly going to spell doom for the opening game of Team Macron. Mel Gibson walks head-on into Galactic Fear and gets popped. Not since Mad Max 2 has he been so comprehensively run over. This time there's no gyro captain to pull him out of the wreck of his V8 interceptor. Alas, you will be missed. You were a fine actor, sir. Galfir now rolling into his old base, and of course this is Setons, so full share is on. So of course, somewhere a ferry has died from terminal herpes. Petrick spamming up Cerberus turrets over here. A couple of overcharges from Galactic Fear should deal with those, though. He's got a fair few Auroras in tow here. Petrick trying to get as much PD online as possible. Engineers rolling in from the southwest as well, trying to get more T1 PD online. Trouble is, Galactic Fear knocking these down as soon as they're arriving. But the T1 PD down there will hold, and the second T1 will hold as well. Galactic Fear taking a bit of a pummeling now. He's going to have to back up. 4,300 hit points there. Strogo getting a second line of defense over here, so this is good work from Team Macron, plugging the gap, and we're starting to see the first ASFs on the field now, so Crispy Ambulance and VIP reaching Tech 3. The occasional Notha fighter bomber coming in to try and finish off Galfir here and now. Galfir eats that, knocks him down to 1,500 hit points, another couple of those and he'll be out. And that would be a huge loss for Team Le Pen. He really is their ringer in this. Sticks around despite Petrick's advance to kill off that factory because he knew where he was at there on the veterancy rank upgrade. Gets a huge chunk of HP back before backing up. That's very calm, measured play, and he covers his retreat with his Auroras. Gives himself time to withdraw. Quality stuff in the opening one here between two very well-seasoned teams. UEF and Cybran frigates go toe-to-toe in the bottom ocean here between Guidmas and Strogo. And Guidmas devoting significantly more time and energy and resources to his naval production, is going straight for T3 up here. I'd be very surprised if we start seeing T3 ships emerge anytime soon. He will use, I'm sure, that to pump out masses of lower order vessels nice and quickly. Naval yards over here at the side island as well. Compare that to Strogo and his paltry 2 T1 naval yards. Yes, he's pushing out for the time being, but with the amount of resources he's expended, pulling his commander out of base, coming up here to plug the gap with Petrick, that's going to be hard to sustain. Petrick, however, has done solid work in the top pond, pushing Napalm way back. Napalm with his commander safely under his shipyard there. What's going on with Crispy Ambulance? Nothing special. Air players doing what they do at this stage of the game, sitting in their base, teching up as quickly as humanly possible. Well, there's a nice lull in activity here. Let's take a look at Eco, and at first glance it seems as though Petrick is way out in front. Galfir I've been banging on about short stacking, but then of course remember he's the causeway player. It's all about aggression on the causeway. You cannot really sit back and eco It's just not an option. And he's got out there and he's killed off his mirror. So that is the way of things. But of course, full share, all of that eco then just goes into your teammates' coffers. And that's something, no doubt, that Petrick is benefiting from. 205 mass per tick for him at the present time. Then we've got 161 for Napalm, a couple of 142s from VIP there, and Geeb mass. 126 from Strogo, 92 from Crispy Ambulance. That must be... No, it's not. So, Crispy Ambulance well off the pace in this one, eco-wise speaking. Huge air advantage potentially on the cards coming soon, I would imagine, for VIP and Team Macron. But look out, here comes Galfir once again, determined to brush aside this new front line that's going up between Petrick and Strogo. They've got some shield gens over here, one of them very badly damaged, and I'm sure they're about to fall. There goes one. There were Gunthers going up here, but they've been destroyed. So T2 artillery static emplacements, and we've got the same going up over here, but they're still operational for Galactic Fear. One miasma and another one on the way. Galactic Fear rolling in, knocking down some shield coverage, brutalizing the emplacements that are already there, just to give himself a little bit of an advantage. And now we've got some even songs in the picture as well, hurling mobile missiles out towards that front line, that stronghold of Petricks and Strogos. And sure enough, if we head back down to the bottom pond, one direction of travel, and that's going in towards Team Macron. Base war well and truly underway now between these three guys. A lot more build power though, of course, in this little fire base, those two ACUs. And so Galfir, I mean, he can't have thrown the engineering suite. I haven't got Notify working for some reason. So yeah, he's still got the gun upgrade. He hasn't got the T2 engineering suite, so he's relying on T2 engineers to initiate production. He's got that T2 factory on the front line. Napalm trying a slightly different approach. And excuse me, there I was, rattling on about how this T3 factory won't be spewing out T3 units anytime soon, and we're already seeing a battle cruiser in the mix there for Geeb mass, and that will be an absolute game changer. Highest vessel, ranking vessel in tech terms here for Strogo is this Salem, and that will be easily brushed aside. Another Salem out over here, and now we're starting to see shield boats in play as well there for Geeb mass. That bulwark shield boat, bulwark, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. That is going to be a nasty little combination, and something I'm sure that Strogo is going to struggle with. Perhaps advancing a little bit too far forward with his vessels. Pretty sure Petrick's got a numerical superiority here. Wisely, he's withdrawing quickly back down here to the bottom pond, and Geeb mass is on the march. We do have a T3 naval yard operational For Strogo, they're starting work on a battleship, but that's a long way from completion, and the build capacity surrounding that and assisting that is already under fire from all of the Thunderhead frigates surrounding it. That Neptune is just going to be tearing the field up now. Picking its target, zapping away. It's a thing of beauty. So, not looking good in the bottom ocean here. We've even got some cruiser support as well. VIP lining up torpedo bombers to try and counter, but that's going to be difficult with cruiser coverage and shield boat coverage. It's going to be very costly indeed. Galactic Fear has amassed a pretty serious force of blazes, and instead of sending them straight down the middle, he's using that naughty floaty to assist Napalm, and Napalm certainly needing it. Petrick devoting a lot of his extra eco towards naval combat in that top ocean. But Galfear ousted in the center. The second shield gen collapses. 2 miasma left, but they're not going to last long against the Vipers down here. Those mobile missile launchers. That position untenable. Galfear pulls his commander and drives himself off into that bottom pond. Blazes now, the next batch of blazes coming to join him, and I'm wondering if we're going to see a push down here to help oust Strogo, since Guy Mass is looking so strong down there right now. Now a revived Napalm fleet with massive blaze assistance attempts to drive Petrick back towards his home waters. How are those torpedo bombers faring? Probably not brilliantly. He might have managed to snag the cruiser though. Seem to have lost it. And Neptune got about 20,000 hit points left. Strogo trying desperately to keep his eye or toe in the water. Trying to spam up as many T1 naval yards as possible. Shield collapses. That Neptune now drifting in towards the deep red. I think they might have grabbed it, but essentially the battle's already been won in this bottom ocean. I think Galactic Fear marching on towards that beach as we speak. Huge quantities of blazes heading that way as well. That's going to spell trouble for Strogo. Yes, he's been fighting a losing battle in his ocean, but at least against the UEF, none of that was going to be coming his way onto land. And now this pesky Aeon turns up with his floating tanks. Those torpedo bombers now moving on for VIP. Let's take a quick look at VIP and Crispy Ambulance's ASF numbers now, as they're starting to build up. 37 on the field at the moment for Crispy Ambulance, and Team Le Pen. Team Macron is at 35, so very, very narrow margins between these two. Quick and clinical bombing run there. Picks off a destroyer and a second as well. Lots of flak coming off those T1 frigates, but they're very inaccurate. Slow muzzle velocity. Tough to hit those T2 units. And those blazes have been transferred over to Napalm's control, so good teamwork there between these two guys. And a cruiser out now as well for Napalm will help cut those torpedo bombers down to size. Crispy Ambulance brings in his ASFs. Doesn't seem to want to get embroiled in a full-on air engagement just as yet, however. But this fight really has migrated way back towards Napalm's base. But now we're seeing some T3 units. Sub-Hunter in play. But if we head back down towards Strogo's base, I think we're about to see a land incursion as Galactic Fear turns up, not just with his horde of blazes, but also with the ACU itself. Personal shield, both gun upgrades, and there's little or nothing in this base to stop this attack now. Engineers were busily or hurriedly trying to get static T2 artillery online, but that's just not going to last at all. Engineers going to be torn apart. That is a very painful blow. It's worse than losing an ACU. All of that core mass, those T3 mass extractors are down and out. Strogo's base in tatters. Yes, he's got this forward position up here, but there's not a lot of eco in it for him. All the eco that is here is currently in Petric's hands. Petric starting work on a couple of bugs, so that could be interesting. Keep an eye on that. Remember, he, of course, is way ahead of everyone else in eco terms. 390 at the current time. Well, actually, VIP's on 375, so between these two guys, that's a huge amount of extra eco. But VIP might be about to lose some of that. We've got vulnerable T3 mexes down here as that blaze push from Galactic Fear continues, and they head inland, and they could go on towards the base as well. And an Arthwasher was under construction, but all of the build capacity that was on that has been yanked and is now working on an Ithota. And that chicken, the rate that that's going up, that's going to be finished soon as well. So even if those blazes push right on towards that base, I don't think there's any majorly significant threat of VIP's base suffering any critical damage. Having said that, this is still great work from Galactic Fear. There goes a T3 mass extractor, two more over here under threat. However, we have Wagner's turning up on the scene for Petric, coming in from the north. Galfear in the center of the base now, making sure of the destruction of Strogo's base, making certain all of those resourcing options are taking out, and those Wagners actually managing to push Galactic Fear off those points. They're trying to get onto anything vulnerable and important. Another couple of T3 mexes down here, but Blazes put out such a small amount of damage. And that Ithota is complete and is now heading out towards them. And I'm actually skeptical that those Blazes are going to be able to chew through any of those 8,400 hit points fully by the time that Ithota turns up. There it goes. They might get one. There that goes. Are they going to hang around and prioritize the other? Focusing on the energy storage, interestingly enough, for a moment there before switching back up. There's no way they're going to kill that off before the Ithota tidies them up. And indeed, there they go. Meanwhile, over here, that bug we saw under construction earlier from Petric has completed. And where's Galfear's commander? Well, he has wisely pulled it out of the area and got it under the water for safekeeping. Those T1 naval yards that were very hurriedly being constructed by Strogo down at the bottom of the map have been dismantled. Guy Mass finishing those off nicely. And Guy Mass is actually over here with his commander as well. And he's gone for the TAC missile upgrade there. So potentially some vulnerability to mass points over here for Team Macron, but that, if wisely used, I expect it to be from Petrick, along with the second one that's just been completed. Those two bugs could cause a great deal of damage. And we're about to have an Awasar completed as well. So suddenly a huge amount of air-to-ground firepower materializes for Team Macron. His old banking buddies lending him vast amounts of cash to get that finished. One or two galaxies versus 4 Seraphim battleships. Are they Halthuns? Halthuns. I could probably pronounce that on a regular basis. Probably should. Those Seraphim battleships. Certainly an advantage there in battleship numbers for Napalm. Could we see an inevitable pushback? So a screen of fighters for VIP, forcing Crispy Ambulance back towards his base, while Petrick mows down the causeway with those bugs and starts to demolish everything belonging to Galactic Fear, who's only on 139. Now all of those key structures are under threat, and the Awasar heading up that way as well. Suddenly this game got very, very interesting. Resurgent Macron steams in with flying experimentals. Bugs tearing it up, but an Awasar surely about to drop a bomb right on the top of Galactic Fear's main base. Kaboom! So pretty. Now Napalm's base is in trouble. Napalm's commander just about to emerge from shield coverage, and then it hangs a Louis right over the top of the fleet without dropping any bombs. Very ill-advised. Surely that was unintentional. He would have wanted to get one of those out of commission already. Where have those bugs gone? And Galactic Fear very surprised about the materialization of these experimentals. ASF's tangling over here between the two air players over the top of Napalm's fleet, and it looks as though VIP has a slight advantage in numbers, but of course the area they're fighting in favors Team Le Pen ever so slightly. Another bomb goes off, this time in the center of Guy Mass's base, and he'll be needing mass after that. All of his core mass bar one being destroyed. Bugs about to finish the rest of it, and now it's moving on towards Crispy Ambulance. Is it? No, maybe not. Hangs another Louis and decides to go somewhere else. VIP indeed won that engagement over the top of Napalm. Things going from bad to worse now for Team Le Pen. Another bomb away. Where is it? It's going for the T3 shipyard down here. The shipyard survives. Would need another 2 or 3 blasts like that, but all of the engineers that were assisting die horribly. And Guy Mass's base has just been annihilated. Meanwhile, over here we've got that Ethota we saw earlier slowly getting dismantled. Guy Mass has a Billy Nuke upgrade now on his commander and is launching Billy Nukes at that experimental. Could Team Le Pen finally have got an engage they like on the ASF numbers? Well, I think they have, forcing that fight over the top of Crispy Ambulance's base, which is very well defended with assorted T1, 2, and 3 static anti-air firepower. Another bomb away for the Awasar. 206 kills now for him, 129 for that first bug, second bug up here, 82. Significant number of kills now we're talking about for this stage in the game. And now commanders moving out. Galfir and Guibmas emerging from the beach. Inexplicably, there's another bug, a brand new one for Petrick. I don't think I like this play. It's not going to take an awful lot for Petrick to come in now and kill off Guibmas. In comes a strap bomber from VIP as well. That's going to connect, takes him down to 14,000 hit points. Petrick hasn't realized the vulnerability yet, but there is the attack command. VIP coming in now with the experimental bomber. That's going to really hurt. Guibmas surely going to succumb here at 29.5 minutes. Bomb connects down into the red. Bug tidies up. Petrick says thank you very much, and they might get a second com kill here now as well. Galfir does have personal shield and that mobile shield generator nearby as well. Soul Ripper down to 30,000 hit points. In comes the experimental bomber as well. Just 8,000 hit points left on there. Lots of flak to assist Galactic Fear though. Another strap bomber comes in. That knocks out the last of the personal shield, but the Soul Ripper dies. And the experimental dies over here as well, thanks to those flayers that are still alive, formerly belonging to Guibmas, now been transferred over to Galactic Fear. And Galfir will breathe a sigh of relief, and so will right-wing voters everywhere. Say right-wing, far right-wing. Let's leave it at that. Last couple of strap bombers tidied up by cruiser fire there from Crispy Ambulance. Goodness me, so suddenly, in the space of about 5-6 minutes, it's been completely turned on its head. And Guibmas is down and out. His base has been annihilated, more importantly, so it hasn't all just gone into Galfir's pockets. Would have originally been handed over to Crispy Ambulance, of course, as top scoring player in this one for Team Le Pen. And he handed control of that over to Galactic Fear. Goodness gracious me. 31 minutes gone. 20 minutes of high intensity gameplay. And Napalm. It's just been embroiled in this back and forth naval war between him and Petrick. Hasn't really been able to get involved in the game anywhere else. It's just jostled backwards and forwards between these two sections of the map. But would you just look at all of those T1 naval yards from Petrick? Unbelievable numbers. 17 T1s. And then a few T2s and another setup here as well. So Petrick determined to outspam Napalm up at the top there. But interesting enough, I think at first glance, silver lining for Team Le Pen. Crispy Ambulance on 91 ASFs, VIP on 47, so significant. Very significant 2-to-1 air advantage now, pretty much, for Team Le Pen, but they need to translate that into something. Strogo's still alive, essentially not particularly functional right now. He's on 46 mass per tick and confined to a small frontline pocket up here, which he shares with Petrick. And this little base down here at the bottom of the map. Petrick was airlifting his commander there for a moment, but that's just another support commander, no doubt airdropping them up to the never-ending fleet battle up here to start producing some harms. It's certainly what I'd be doing if I was in this situation. Mel Gibson suggesting a tele-snipe. No, please don't do that. Massive T1 bomber strike on all of the engineers up here. That is a thing of beauty. Most of the... actually, no, that's a very nice spread. About half of the engineers, maybe more than half, working on that Colossus, wiped efficiently in that exchange. Measured difference between the Joes and the pros there. Very cost-effective play from Petrick. Well done, sir. And Petrick's quantity of battleships really increasing versus Napalm, but the sheer number of vessels, T1 and T2, that he's throwing into this fight seems to be keeping him in it. Heatmass warning his team that Petrick could be planning a mazer. Or would you look at Petrick's total, though? Just look what he's sitting on, 602 mass. Next highest is VIP at 341. These are not good figures if you are rooting for Team Le Pen. Galactic Fear on 325, Napalm on 290, Crispy Ambulance on 240, Strogo on 28. Everyone trying to tell people to go, Mel Gibson telling Strogo to do it, and he's actually started the upgrade. So he's going for the teleport upgrade there, but Petrick about 40% done on a megalith. Petrick's experimental play. Sorry, he's already got a megalith online. That's the second megalith. And that first megalith is working on ousting Galfear from this bay area. Governors of Crispy Ambulance still hurling missiles at the last stronghold in this portion of the map for Strogo. And we have a strategic missile submarine online for Galactic Fear. Interesting. You see some nukes coming Macron's way in the near future, I wonder. Another T1 bombing raid, this time on engineers that are working on a Tsar for Galfear. Again, another pretty hefty set of casualties. One very annoying siren there. Well, it would be annoying if it was hitting anything. It's taken exception with a small warren of rabbits on the hill. Doubt upset that they were once again showing Watership Down on Easter Day. I don't know why they do that. They really don't. Sick sense of humour some TV programmer executive has at Channel 5. Let's ruin kids' Easter. Huge quantities of firepower coming off those Seraphim battleships. Interestingly, lots of it being wasted and falling short. That one looks like it's going to connect. Actually, amazing how hardy those Salems are. The amount of shots that one just absorbed before finally succumbing. Look at that mass field. And that's another benefit, of course, to the support commanders who are indeed working on harms up here. But would you look at that crab emerging into the water, forcing that fleet to desist with its massive twin forward mounted proton cannons, just like normal crabs. Terrifying things. secondary base going up over here now for VIP, who's expanding. Let's take another look at the fighter numbers. ASFs, 243 for Crispy Ambulance. VIP's numbers looked healthy, but not that healthy. 147 for him, so a massive advantage for Team Le Pen, but they have to be able to translate it into something. This build-up continues for Team Macron. It's only going to end one way. Galfir now being forced further and further away from the beach. He's managed to upgrade one naval factory to T3 right near the beach over here. It's working on a summit. Get some battleships online. Might be able to contend with these experimentals. But now Petrick has ousted Galfir. I'm wondering if Strogo can get re-established. Petrick's moving in for the time being. Of course, we've got some pretty significant wrecks kicking around here as well that they can take advantage of. Strogo airlifting his commander back to his old base, ready to set up shop. Really was fortunate for Team Macron that Strogo wasn't in his base during that last attack. He already pulled his commander to assist on the front line, but that Tsar for Galactic Fear is complete, and we also have another experimental online for VIP, another Awasar chilling over here. Fighter numbers, as we said, significantly higher for Crispy Ambulance and Team Le Pen. Now these two groups of fighters are going to have to jostle back and forth as they try to defend the ground units against impending air attack, but also defend their own experimentals as they try to take position. But VIP manages to get a bomb away. The battleships will be fine, but the engineers around them will not. It's another 15 or 20 kills there, or 24 to be precise. Huge fighter maneuvers happening over this section of map now. Crispy Ambulance moving back up, VIP moving away. Deep mass highlighting the danger coming up the causeway. There is a Colossus waiting, but VIP senses a kill potentially and moves in, but Crispy Ambulance is quick to respond and might chew up a couple of fighters here as he gets in behind the tail of this fighter wing from VIP and starts picking off ASFs as he goes. It's a nice bit of micro there. VIP slightly misjudged that one. Thought he could get a pass in on the Tsar and was mistaken. Crispy Ambulance pulls out at the perfect time without risking reprisal. VIP, can he make hayway with the experimental bomber while Crispy Ambulance's ASFs are pulled over here? Well, not really. Ambulance just towing the line between attack and defense very nicely indeed. Really though, for Napalm, this must be the world's most boring game. Petrick also embroiled in this, but he's been everywhere else as well. He's been assisting down here. He's now marching up the causeway. He's been getting involved in a lot of airplay early on. There's been a lot more game happening for him. And poor old Napalm that's just been stuck essentially. But VIP coming in once again with the Awasar. Where's the ASFs of Crispy Ambulance? I don't think they're going to be able to get in time. Another bomb away does take a battleship down this time and damages quite badly. Another, and a lot of flak got caught in that explosion. Ambulance moves out to counter, but isn't going to get a clean engage. Could probably just go straight after, and if the engage happens with VIP, take advantage. But it's easy for us to say. We know he's stonkingly ahead on numbers going for the engage. No, he's just going in after the bug, which I didn't even see. A nice pickup there. Petrick loses an experimental. Ow, that's got a sting. Silver lining is it's in reasonably easy reclaimable territory for him at the time being. If Napalm pushes out, however, anytime soon, then that could be out of the question. But we have the Tsar engaging those ground forces we saw moving up the causeway a moment ago for Petrick. The Crab doesn't like the look of that. He's going to go check out some sea play over there. Colossus hoovering up the flak as it goes. Where's VIPs, ASFs? Well, here they come. Looks like they've locked onto the Tsar, and Crispy Ambulance is way up here. Oh, did Galfear overextend? It looks like he might have done. No. Oh, very fine margins indeed. VIP forced to withdraw as Crispy Ambulance comes in to engage once again. Nicely played by Team Le Pen. VIP tries to take advantage, but might get his Awasar sniped for his trouble. Crispy Ambulance detaches a portion to defend the Tsar, going in with the main body of his air forces after the experimental is going to have to give up the chase on that and engage VIP's fighters. That second group that broke off is now coming in to assist from behind. Crispy Ambulance does break off the attack on the experimental, and finally we've got this engage that we've been expecting. And if it goes down the way I expect it to, I think this is going to hand total air superiority over to Team Le Pen for the foreseeable future. There was about 100 plane differential going into this in favor of Team Le Pen. As they merge, it's initially hard to tell. Like someone sneezed a whole packet of hundreds and thousands over a birthday cake. Definitely a birthday cake for a girl. A white and violet mess, but VIP's numbers dwindle and there's still significant amounts of purple flying pain. Violet flying pain, I should say. Ping going down on top of the Crab. Those ASFs withdrawn. Torpedo bombers moving in for Crispy Ambulance. What are they going after? Looks like they're going after the Myrmidons that have been set up recently. Take those down. Now that they've got a significant air advantage, they should be able to start thinning out some of this fleet belonging to Petrick. Lots of torpedo bombers turning up now from Crispy Ambulance, who really wants to take advantage of this opening they've got here. That Crab transferred over to Strogo's control. Strogo now hurriedly trying to reassert himself over there. Tsar working on that Crab as well. Actually kick out quite a lot of damage from those torpedo launchers, but that's how many hit points there are on a megalith. It barely registers. Simulation speed on game time down to -2. My rig starts to buckle under the strain. There goes an aircraft carrier. These are the big anti-air threats that Crispy Ambulance is trying to deal with. And there goes an Awasar bomb, and that Awasar we saw earlier, VIP, has traversed the entire map and come out on the other side. and is going after Galfir's side island. The first one impacts on the shield. Definitely an opening in here. Could cause some problems. Lots of T1 PD and anti-air in the area. That Awasar scooping up more SAM fire from that mini beach. Another bomb away into the red. How far is it from veterancy? Quite a ways. Well, it seems like he got a rank there. Maybe I was talking rubbish. And actually did quite a lot of damage. Lots of destroyed structures wiped out there in that pass. Is he going to have another pop? It's very vulnerable if he like to. I know he's worried about how badly damaged it is at 9,700 HP, and there are lots of flayers over here. Galactic Fears like, what happened to my island in allied chat? "41 minutes gone in game time." Of course, it's probably been a bit longer than that now with the sin speed dropping so low. ASF's rolling out for VIP over here. We've got spy planes rolling out as well. Awasar over here. Is it going to make it? There's lots of cruiser fire homing in on it. Oh no, but lands in friendly territory at least. Strogo will be on that to cannibalize it quickly, I'm sure. Meanwhile, the pressure continues to build on the causeway as Petrick engages Galfir's Colossus with his Mega, and a whole bunch of loyalists rolling up as well. Bounces in the mix as well, and a lot of bangers. Lots of flak to offset that advantage now from Crispy Ambulance. And we've got 3 strategic missile submarines over here now for Galfir. 2 of them actually have nukes loaded.
Strategic launch
And no sooner do I say it, then we get a strategic launch. Where is it headed? 2 nuke pings happening over here. Have we got any nuke defense? Petrick's already on the move. He's worried about it. Lord in there. We do have a strategic missile defense. There it is, and it is loaded, so at least one of those is going to go down, unless there's another one in here that I've missed. I don't think I can see one. That first one shot down. That second one will tear a giant hole in the center of this firebase here, which is looking pretty scary right now. Petrick chilling on the mountainside. He brought a beer and some sunglasses. He says, "I quite like to watch this. Can you not tell by my giant spiky outfit that I'm into this kind of thing? How very death metal of you, sir." Boom! It's a thing of beauty. Needs an old Cadillac and a big spiky girlfriend to sit there and watch it with. Very nicely done indeed. They will have liked to have squeezed both of those in if they could. Lots of torpedo bombers now being produced by VIP. No doubt reactionary on that nuke launch, and we've almost got another one ready as well. Galfear is producing a lot of mass, actually. If you take a look at that, he's on to 600. Petrick, who's been way in the lead this whole time, is on 680. Galfear on 600. That might have been replay related, though. It drops back to 555. But even so, that's a significant amount of eco. And he's about to have another nuke ready, and that command's already been given. You can see it's nuking there. So it will complete any moment now. Just have to wait and see where it's targeted. VIP significantly replenished his ASF numbers from that early exchange, and there is another nuke. The torpedo bombers had already been given the kill order, but too late to stop that final nuke. Where is it going? Well, it's going straight after this brand new set of air production facilities over here. It also wants to try and take out this position. VIP just got an SMD online as well, but far too late to get a missile in the clip to defend against that nuke, so that will connect. Those torpedo bombers surely going out after the submarines that launch those nukes. We do have bulwark ships in attendance here, so they will afford some protection, and of course quite a lot of anti-air as well from the cruisers under here. But that's a lot of torpedo bombers. There's the nuke. Wipes out all but 2 of those T3 air factories. And that forward position along with the T3 mass. In fact, a couple of T3 mass that were in that location. So it's a very well-placed nuke from Galfear. Well done to him, sir. Shields have collapsed, and they are indeed going straight after the submarines. Look at that, it's pretty clinical. There it goes. There goes 2 of them. Have all 3 gone down? 1 still remains, but there's still a lot of torpedo bombers alive. Where's Crispy Ambulance? Well, he's coming in. And I think you could see by those 2 different sized blobs that there's still a massive advantage for Team Le Pen. Crispy Ambulance, though, if only he'd been loitering over here, he would have been able to get in there and finish off those bombers before they took out those strategic missile submarines. As it lies, I think all 3 of them are going down. There it is. Down and out. That's Galfear's comm over there. Hairy when you consider the torpedo bombers that were loitering. And it's been spotted as well. Spy planes overhead from Petrick. No sonar, of course, so even with that Omni as they pass over, unable to tell what's actually beneath the water there. Actually surprises me. That should probably highlight Omni should work as sonar as well, don't you? Maybe that's overly generous. Don't want to cut down too much on people's ability to sneak things into places. Something we're a big fan of here at Guildcast. As long as it's not teleported, of course. And still, this battle rages with no real end in sight. Another nuke out from Team Le Pen. This time it's from Crispy Ambulance's land-based launcher, which is right at the back of his base there. Where is it heading? Well, that's also going for the front line. Do we have another anti-nuke loaded? Yes, we do. So that's going to get shot down. Very unfortunate there for him. There's nothing more demoralizing than getting a nuke online and it not reaching its target. But oh dear me, that Tsar that VIP spent so much time trying to bag earlier finally gets caught out by VIP. Crispy Ambulance jumps on those ASFs. I think VIP is probably going to trade most of his fighters in that exchange. Maybe, but look out, what a wonderful distraction. VIP homing in on Galfir's comm. They've even labeled it comm or sub. Crispy Ambulance drawn in by that engage on the Tsar from VIP allows an opening for huge quantities of torpedo bombers to lynch Galfir's commander. Shield gone, armor disappearing, and surely in the next pass that's him down and out. That's a very significant development in this game. Galfir, their #1 rated player. Where is Crispy Ambulance? He sent a few fighters off to kill off the torpedo bombers, but surely they won't manage it in time. Boom! Oh man. Team Le Pen can almost hear the bureaucrats in Brussels cheering. Of course, they all watch Guilecast. They do very little governing. But ow, that really stings. So Crispy Ambulance inherits all of Galfir's eco. He's up to a whopping 942 mass now, eclipsing Petrick on 730, VIP's on 326, Napalm's on 281, Strogo is back up to a respectable 208 now, and back to his mass naval spam tactics as this little pocket of naval resistance here from Crispy Ambulance now will surely start to diminish. One megalith sitting below the water here, just launching torpedoes out towards that shield gen. Petrick has made his way to the pond over here with his commander and is setting up an anti-snipe system here with 3 harms and what looks like 3 myrmidons as well for air coverage. But Napalm, could this naval war finally be drawing to a close? It has gone on for goodness knows how long. It's gone on for at least half an hour, maybe longer in game time, but much longer in actual time, as we've been jostling between -1 and -2 sim speed for about the last 15-20 minutes. One, two, three, 4 battleships remain for Napalm, and there's just so much firepower amassed from Petrick now. Really does feel like the beginning of the end. Napalm getting a little shirty, so either we do something or I'm out. I'm not surprised, I don't blame him. It must have been an incredibly dull game for him. Support commander's being yanked from his main base along with his commander and moving inland. Crispy Ambulance about to get another nuke in there, and that actually, in hindsight, would have been a better target for the nuke than Petrick's fleet. Try and tear a hole in there, but that Monkey Lord that we saw kicking around in that forward position earlier has traversed the entire map and has wound up on the beach over here at the far edge, has taken out a whole bunch of structures there that used to belong to Crispy Ambulance, formerly Galfir, and before that of course Guy Mass. Crispy Ambulance in position to take advantage of that Tsar wreck, but not yet currently doing so. But suddenly becomes huge task once your teammates get whittled down and you've got so many other fronts to cover. Mel Gibson, all this needs now is Petrick to crash. He says then it would desync. Quite so, and then it would not be featured here at Guilecast. One operational battleship left now for Napalm versus a whole array of Cybrin nasty. See how the smoothness has disappeared from my game. Slowly but surely, this naval position being dismantled over here. Keith Mass is trying to cheat from beyond the grave. Interesting stuff. Well, mass solace production rolling out from Crispy Ambulance now. Would you look at all of these torpedo bombers rolling off the line. 900 mass per tick will give you that kind of production power. Question is, where is he headed with it? It's like he's lining up down here. Ooh, that must have been a support commander going pop somewhere. Napalm asking for an epic scout. Why, sir? What are you doing? He's getting an upgrade on his commander, and I'm guessing he's not a Cybrin, so he's not going to get the old Mazacom going, but he can still jump in and do some damage with a nastily upgraded comp. He gets teleported online. And they really are in full snipe mode now, Le Pen. They feel it slipping away. We've got Shockers massing over here. Solace is massing next door from Crispy Ambulance. Napalm's main base starting to fall. Passing the 50-minute mark. Galfear prompting Scathis. Well, there is a Scathis, and Petrick's building it. Under construction at least, 10% done. And Napalm teleports himself in right next to Petrick, and he's trying to capture one of the harms, but he's going to last no time at all. He manages to grab one of them before going pop, so Napalm down and out, and probably out of his misery. That other harm's opening up on Petrick. Petrick bringing in a Dragonfly to evac his commander, but I'm not sure he even needs to do that. Harms that was captured by Napalm slowly getting dismantled, and indeed Petrick sends that transport away, says, no, I got this. Hoovers up the mass, and now it is mano a trio, if that's even a thing. And it's all or nothing now for Team Le Pen. In comes Crispy Ambulance, screening with that massive, massive air force of his for those torpedo bombers. We have strat bombers at the back, but torpedo bombers in the lead. And what have we got here? Are they going straight in? They can't just be going after these T1 naval yards. Well, the move command is into the center over here. They're taking fire from the forward fire base of Petrick over on the foot of the causeway there. They're going to reach that waypoint. Where's the next command? Are they going to go in after Petrick's comm? Well, Petrick already recognizes the danger. He is going to evac. Doesn't want to hang about in that transport, though. If that gets shot down by the huge quantities of ASFs, then he is down and out, of course. VIP losing what ASFs he's got. He really has been on the back foot since that massive engage up here. But out goes the commander. The Solaces drift lifelessly over the top of Petrick's main base as that kill order is rendered obsolete. There are, of course, the odd shocker in play. Two still alive. Petrick has to drop off his commander because of all of the ASF numbers that are swarming in, and he's now has a dilemma. He can't go into the water. He can't be lifted off. He has to build shields and hope that there aren't sufficient numbers of strat bombers around to pick him off. Those Solaces, of course, can't do much against that land-based fortification. Another group of torpedo bombers over here. They're of no use. What's this next group? Well, they are strat bombers. This second group coming in now, making a beeline straight for Petrick, and I can't believe that there's actually a viable route in here. There's just no anti-air in any of this area of the map. He's got 3 shield gens online, but of course there's Cybran shield generators. They need upgrading. He's trying to get a hive for more build power to get those upgrades complete, and no doubt get some more anti-air cover. The first strat bombers show up, and you see what one bomb does to that unupgraded shield. What will 4 more do? Well, there's your answer. All shield gens down. And suddenly Petrick very vulnerable indeed, and another couple of bombs puts him into the red. 3,000 hit points remaining. There's one shield still standing, and it's upgraded to the first level, so he dips back inside that, gets to work on another shield gen. This is very close stuff here. If he commits enough strat bombers, Crispy Ambulance might just be able to pull it off. There goes the shield coverage once again, and there goes Petrick. No, he's still alive. 250 hit points. I can't believe it, but another strat bomber will do the trick. Boom, baby! Petrick is ejected at 52 minutes and 48 seconds. Le Pen just about still in this. Where's all Petrick's stuff going? It will surely go to VIP. What was left of Napalm's base has been wiped out. Huge amounts of mass in the bay there, which are now redundant essentially in the form of those battleships, but the Salems still very much functional, sprout their legs and go a walkie-walkie, a naughty-naughty. Looks like they are heading for Crispy Ambulance's soft jangly bits at the back. What a very solid effort there from Crispy Ambulance to complete that snipe, convert it. But still, I can't see any way out of this. He's going to have to get another couple of very opportune snipes. VIP's commander located way up here. It's going to take some very comprehensive scouting to find that one. And where on earth is Strogo? Strogo, no, that's a support commander. Another one. Gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. There he is. He's under shield coverage on the beach. And we're back up to normal sim speed, finally. now seems to be a semi-permanent air battle raging in the center as both sides just keep flinging more aircraft into it. Never seems to stop. How's that nuke launcher doing? Well, we've got 2 nukes in the clip on that nuke launcher for Crispy Ambulance. And he started a Paragon. That was ambitious. And in comes some strap bombers from VIP. They've managed to breach the air screen of Crispy Ambulance. Goes straight in after the comm. They've depleted half of his personal shield. Take down a T3 power plant and a couple of T3 air factories as well. In they come for a second round of bombs. There goes the shield coverage. Could we see the end of Le Pen? Not yet. That shield surprisingly resilient, and those transcenders, that screen of them, doing fine work at cutting down the rest of those bombers. So March of Napalm's old support commanders over here, going to town on those Salems. Huge amounts of damage they're putting out. There must be the Rambo preset, Nano Combatant preset. Is that the Seraphim equivalent, or is that just a new change? I suppose Rambo's not a thing on the Seraphim homeworld. Of course, by the year 3000, Rambo will still endure as a top quality movie. Real concerted plan now for Crispy Ambulance's Air Force, and he really does just seem to be out of ideas. His side island over here has been mobbed by T1 frigates. A lot of that fire not even making it over the hump of the cliff face, admittedly. And I think it's fair to say VIP finally has reasserted himself as the dominant air force in this game. There goes Le Pen's last key advantage. Team Macron battered, but still very much functional. Salem's desperate to kill off the support commanders first for heading further inland. In comes a bug for VIP. Fires the missiles. He now has 3 nukes sitting in there, and he's restarted his effort to get the Paragon online. He's like at 1,000 odd hit points on it, which isn't too bad considering. Says in local chat, is a Para even worth building at all? Well, it is. Just maybe at not this stage in the game. I think they would have been hard pressed for either team to get a Paragon up in this one. Both teams going for it quite aggressively from the get-go. Yeah, Guy Mass said we were never in a Para situation. I've got to agree. And they aren't in one now either, as that bug comes rolling in. Nom, 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 nom. Structure pops up just in time to be crippled. And no, the nuke launcher with 3 unfired nukes. Oh, that's painful. Soul Ripper focusing in on Crispy Ambulance's comm, but I don't think it's going to finish it off just yet. It's got ASFs on him, lots of transcender fire coming in from over here, and Crispy Ambulance still with a good 20,000 hit points on that personal shield. Will endure just a little bit longer. But the march of the Salems are coming. Crispy Ambulance still putting out 634 mass. They could throw up a GC in no time to defend against them, but I kind of get the feeling that enough's enough. Team Le Pen ready to capitulate and start campaigning for the next presidential election, hoping that Macron, with no infrastructure set up in his own party, won't be able to govern effectively, and that next time will be their time. Events, dear boy, events, we shall see. T3 mass extractors going pop in Guy Mass's old base. Crispy ambulance, happy for this to go to the wire. Petrick telling them not to kill him yet. 2 more minutes. Could that have something to do with the... Where's it gone? Has he moved it? I'm sure they were building a scath this. Oh, that must have got killed. The first one. Just no longer do I say it, they start work on another one. VIP completed the teleportation upgrade on his commander, but really it's all down to the March of the Salems now. Or maybe not. We've got bugs coming in from all directions. 2 from VIP there, 1 from VIP there. And another one from Strogo down here as well. Couple that with the huge amounts of gender-confused destroyers that are about to march in the front door. Life is just a big old experiment, he says in local chat as he waits for them to come, not undertaking any real production now in the base with his commander or anything else on the ground, still throwing out the odd plane or so. Team Macron seemingly enjoying the end of the game on this one. It's always a reasonably pleasurable feeling, drilling your opponent into the ground. In the nicest, most sportsmanlike way, of course. And in come those 3 bugs, taking a lot of fire from the T1 and T3 ground defenses. Crispy ambulance emerging to face his doom. You fought valiantly, sir. A couple of real good engages in that game. And Strogo manages to get his one involved as well. And there he goes. For once, the polls were right. The high mark of populism in Europe, has it been reached? Has the wave rolled back? The high water mark left like a scummy poo stain around the side of a bath of a kid who's had an accident. You can tell I've got young children, can't you? So there you have it. Well, commiserations if your Lady of Leisure did not win. Of course, very scientific. We now expect the actual election to just be a formality. You guys know the result. But I hope you enjoyed it. There's always more to come from me in the future. Don't forget, if you feel so inclined, you can support me on Patreon. And now we have properly got some way to actually bring these casts to you with a working mic. There will definitely be more to come from me in the future. Apologies for that massive gap in programming, and a few people getting upset as well with that, not knowing what's going on. I can only say, guys, it is the most efficient way for me to get information to you about what's going on the channel. So if you're wondering what's going on and you have a Facebook account, just like the page. Details in the description below this video, as they are below all of them. It is the most efficient, but 1 hour long game. Very well played to both sides. Congratulations, Macron. Now we will have to see what you can achieve in office. Until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.